Ladies and gentlemen, Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Arena for varsity girls basketball competition. Please welcome our guests from West Orange High School. They are the Warriors. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Before we begin our game this evening, we ask that you please stand and remove your hats as we honor America with our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? And now let's meet the starting lineups for both teams, beginning with our guests from West Orange. And we will start for the Warriors. At guard with 5'7" senior number 4, Morgan Beecham. At shooting guard, 5'10" senior number 5, Christina Klein. At guard, 5'9" freshman number 12, A.J. Collard. At forward, 6'2" senior number 14, Sarah Placide. And finally for the Warriors at forward, 6'3" freshman number 24, Paris Pickett. And the head coach of the Warriors, Sherelle Chamberlain. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting for the Mustangs, at guard, 5'5" junior number 12, Briera Williams. At guard, 5'9" junior number 15, Emmy James. At forward, 5'11" junior number 21, Denisha Bowles. At forward, 5'9" senior number 24, Alexis Chice. And finally for the Mustangs, at forward, 5'8" junior number 42, Erica Simmons. The head coach of the Mustangs, Mr. Tommy Butts, and assistant coaches Keisha Brown Griffin, Latoya Russ, and George Spearman. The officials for tonight's game are from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Orlando. All right, welcome to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with you along with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, and we are ready to get going here in an important district contest between the Mustangs and the Warriors. Probably two of the best teams in Central Florida, certainly the two top teams in District 9A4.
Yes, Mark, thank you again for that warm introduction. As always, a fine job of introducing the players and, of course, singing the national anthem. Certainly a man of many talents. As you said, as we get ready for tonight, this isn't just a District 9A4 contest as we get a turnover here, but this is really the old backyard brawl, if you will. The two schools are only about 10 miles apart, and this, of course, is important because district supremacy is on the line tonight. But also, if you look at the history of this district the last couple of years, it was West Orange who broke Wekiva's streak of 5 consecutive district championships last season.
Held ball, possession Mustangs. And so the Mustangs will pick up a turnover there.
Again, Wekiva last year looked like Wekiva was certainly on its way to a 6th consecutive championship. They went 22-3 during the regular season.
Amy James for 3 to put the Mustangs on the board. And Neil, that's just how you want to start tonight.
Yeah. And, of course, Wekiva went 22-3 during the regular season last season. They also made it all the way to the championship final where they took on West Orange. Beat West Orange twice during the regular season. West Orange was a very good team, but Wekiva beat them twice and then built a 20-point lead. Wekiva did at halftime.
We're going to pause here for a quick foul. Hold is called against Sarah Placide. That's her first personal foul, and the team's first.
So
yeah, West Orange certainly is the number one obstacle between the Mustangs and a district championship. Yeah. They upset the Mustangs in the district championship last year, and the Mustangs are looking for penance for that, perhaps.
Yeah, and it wasn't just simply the fact that Wekiva didn't win that championship final. They gave up a 20-point lead during the second half, and that really pretty much ended their ambitions to make it back to the state Final Four for a 4th time in 5 seasons. That loss sent Wekiva on the road to Colonial, where they lost. West Orange actually made it to the state Final Four, so it was a very pivotal game as far as what went on in the FHSAA postseason tournament.
Christina Klein to Morgan Beecham for 3.
And Wekiva did win the first game this year, the 2-play. That was over at West Orange back in November. A 12-point victory by Wekiva.
Denise Shovels, and 1. Foul is called against number 24, Paris Pickett. That's her first personal foul, and the team's second.
And right now, that victory in November over West Orange is the difference in the standings in the district. West Orange is 2-1, Wekiva is 3-0. And again, as you know, of course, winning the district championship can still be done from any position, but having that number 1 seed certainly makes it much easier.
Paris Pickett spins for 2. And West Orange is also something of a young team. You heard me call out a couple of freshmen on the starting lineup. And here West Orange is going to get called for traveling. Mustangs ball.
Yeah, 3 turnovers already. 1 short tick of 3 minutes into this game. But to wrap up my thought about the background, why this is such a big rivalry, obviously the tangible of how this sets up for the FHSA postseason tournament. But also, because the two schools are only about 10 miles apart, most of these players at least know of each other. Of course, many of them are very good friends. So that plays into this, again, going back, it's a backyard brawl, so to speak.
As Amy James throws it out of bounds, Warriors ball. And yeah, this game, I mean, the likelihood that it will have true district implications is actually fairly low, because if you're one who bets the chalk, it's probably going to be Wekiva and West Orange number 1 and 2 in one order or the other.
Right.
And if Wekiva and West Orange take out Evans and Apopka, as they are expected to do, then you're going to end up with the Mustangs versus West Orange in the championship game, and that game is going to be played at West Orange regardless, because that's already been established in the district meeting at the beginning of the year. That being said, this is still an important game for Wekiva because it is probably their biggest district test of the year. Wekiva only has 4 losses on their record, and all of them are what you might call honorable losses. They've lost to state champion Winter Haven. They've lost to perennial powerhouse Montverde. They've lost to DME Academy, which is a power school in any year, and they've lost to Father Lopez. And here Emmy James is going to get called for traveling. Warriors ball. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, number 22, Shania McCarthy.
So, and of course, Mark, you also have the confidence and momentum built into this too. Again, Wekiva won the first game back in November. It was a competitive game, but you never really felt like West Orange was in a position to win it, especially once they got down to the last 2 or 3 minutes. Wekiva built a 10-point lead, about 3-4 minutes left in the first half, and it remained between about 6 and 12 points the rest of the way.
Kennedy Rogers is into the game for West Orange.
So also as an example, Mark, this being a backyard brawl, the familiarity between the players, Morgan Beecham, number 4, actually began her high school career at Wekiva and transferred over to West Orange.
And Alexis Choice gets the rebound here after Gillard misses the long tray.
So Beecham has really, since her time at West Orange, she's a senior now, but she has been a major contributor to West Orange, elevating themselves to a state level. Both these teams, too, are ranked. They're both in the top 5 statewide, not locally, but statewide.
Traveling Mustangs ball. Nikki Butler into the game for Wekiva. And for West Orange, Caitlin Kinney. Also in for West Orange, Makeda Bryant.
And again, Mark, another player to look for, and you cannot underestimate her, is, what's Klein's first name?
Christina Klein, yes.
Christina
I was just about to bring her up, Neil, because she has 985 career points going into this game. So with a particularly good night, she could cross that millennial mark.
So not only that, but she does have a personal connection, if you will, to Wekiva on the negative side. She scored the game-winning points last year in that district championship, of course, capping off that 20-point rally from halftime, scoring with about 30 seconds left. I have to tell you, though, Mark, I always kid around about this. I don't know her real well, but the couple of times that I've had the opportunity to speak to her, you know, in college and high school, there always seems to be a couple of players who never seem to graduate. She seems to have been at West Orange for about 7 or 8 seasons.
Yeah, particularly for some of your outstanding players who start on varsity as freshmen, you get so accustomed to calling their name after a few years that you would begin to believe that maybe you ought to be declaring them on your income taxes as a dependent. Air ball from Kinney will send it back to the Mustangs as the tray goes out of bounds. And they're going to say that Beecham got her shin into that one on the way out of bounds, and so it will stay with the Mustangs. And we're finding this in a couple of different sports, Neil, that we have some of the strongest teams in the state concentrated here in Central Florida. We found that with football in the past with Apopka and Wekiva and West Orange, frankly. And now we're finding it here in girls basketball as well.
Yeah, and again, also going back to last season, I know I keep bringing it up, but in order to understand tonight's importance of tonight's game, you need to understand how last season ended. Wekiva and West Orange were both ranked in the top 7. West Orange was 7th. Wekiva was number 1 at the end of the season. But the district next to ours, 9A3, had Timber Creek and Colonial, and they were both ranked in the top 7 as well. So
a lot of talent concentrated here as Emmy James picks up this rebound.
So unfortunately, you can call it the old guillotine there, or the region of death, if you will. Unfortunately, 4 teams are all capable of going to the Final Four. Only one of them was going to.
Morgan Beecham with a go-ahead layup. So West Orange takes their first lead of the night. I think we can expect a very back-and-forth contest all evening. Hold is called against number 34, Nikki Butler. That's her first personal foul, and the team's first. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Madeline Tuzet.
So that has pretty much continued. You have those 4 teams, Timber Creek, Colonial, West Orange, and Wekiva. They're all in the top 7 this year, state ranked, not locally, but state ranked. And of course, both Colonial and Wekiva have won state championships. All 4 teams have advanced to the state Final Four.
Morgan Beecham on the pass from Kennedy Rogers. And Neil, we talked about the youth of West Orange. I think the youth of the Mustangs is a big factor. You notice I only called out 1 senior on the roster. Part of that is because Sadeja Payne is out tonight, which will certainly be a factor as Nikki Butler picks up 2 for the Mustangs. So the Mustangs missing Sadeja Payne and Myanna Garrett. Garrett has been out for 2 games now due to an injury. Although they do have Alexis Choice back. She was on a long-standing injury for quite a while. And it's going to be Morgan Beecham with the last word of the first period. And that will take the Warriors to a 4-point lead. 11-7 is your score at the end of the first period. Warriors have the opening possession of the second period. And welcome back to Mustang Arena. Again, a 4-point advantage for West Orange, and it's going to become 7. 3-point basket scored by Kennedy Rogers. As West Orange strikes first here, and it's going to be answered. Bree Williams answers with a long 2-point jump shot for Wekiva. They are going to rule her foot was on the line there, so West Orange gains 1 in that exchange. Bowles picks up the rebound here on a missed 3. Inside to Choice. Pass was a little bit off, but she'll draw the foul. Foul is called against number 10, Cami Seamer. That's her first personal foul. The team's third. Alexis Choice shooting.
So looking at the first quarter stats, Mark, again, Wekiva has won with poor shooting throughout the season. They were only 3 of 9. Not too bad. Actually, they were 2 of 4 from two-point land, but only 1 of 5 from three-point field goal. However, West Orange was 4 of 6 from two-point land. So 2 more attempts and 2 more baskets. Both teams pretty even in the turnovers, 6-5. West Orange with the 6. Even on the rebounding end, 7-6 in favor of West Orange. Neither team was able to grab a offensive rebound, and both teams were actually 1 of 5 from three-point land. So again, being able to generate 2 more free field goal attempts has been the difference here.
Alexis Choice draws the foul. Called against number 4, Morgan Beecham. That's her first personal foul. And the team's 4th. And it looks like they're going to rule that was on the floor. So no shots for Alexis Choice.
So again, with those 2 more field goal attempts, West Orange has made 2 more. Strong offensive rebounding underneath by Choice. They're not giving up her position. Another strong offensive rebound. Unfortunately, Wekiva is not able to get that angle just right, throwing it too hard off the rim. And I just mentioned that Wekiva had not been able to get an offensive rebound. Actually, there had not been one for either team. They just came up with 3 on this possession. So again, with 6.5 minutes left here in the second, Wekiva an opportunity to tie the ball game.
Morgan Beecham comes up with the rebound after several chances for the Mustangs. She'll get fouled at the other end. Tanisha Bowles is called on the reach. That's her first personal foul, the team's second. Nikki Butler back into the game for the Mustangs.
So, yeah, and it's really hard to see. This isn't like the NBA or college where you have instant replay, but it did look like West Orange got away with a foul when Wekiva rebounded on their end of the court.
Erica Simmons picks up the rebound here, and she's going to get fouled immediately. Morgan Beecham is called on her second personal foul. It's the team's 5th. So Mustangs winning the foul game right now, at least. Pause for another substitution. Into the game for the Warriors, A.J. Gillard. Inbounding violation. Warriors ball. Checking into the game for the Warriors, for the Mustangs rather, Bree Williams.
Obviously, that was unintentional, Mark, but unfortunately, James, in the heat of the moment there, lost her focus. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before where the player just crosses inbound.
Well, the Mustangs will make up for it, though, as Bree Williams gets a pick here. To Simmons for 3. A little off the mark. It's going to go out of bounds with nobody touching it. Bowles picks off the Warriors, but then gives it right back to Kennedy Rogers. So both teams struggling a little bit with ball handling here early in this game. And there it is. 3-point basket for Kennedy Rogers from A.J. Gillard.
And, of course, Mark, we have mentioned Morgan Beecham as well as Christina Klein. Mimi Rogers has also been instrumental in this series the last several years as well.
Rebound to Paris Pickett here. Bowles on the rebound here after the tray from Rogers won't go. Ball spins into the key, doesn't have anything. And it's going to be Bree Williams for 3. That's off the mark. Rebound goes to Placide.
So both teams right now cold from the field. Only one field goal over the last 3 minutes or so.
Push is called against Kyla Cruz. That's her first personal foul. And the team's 6th. Checking into the game for West Orange, Caitlin Kinney and Christina Klein. The Mustangs will send back in Alexis Choice. Ball's off her footing there, and she's not able to drain that one. Christina Klein makes the putback, and the Mustangs will take a full timeout. Again, 60-second timeout requested by Wekiva. We'll be right back. Back to live action here at Mustang Arena as Coach Butts tries to recalibrate his team, down by 8 points here midway through the second quarter. Foul is called against Caitlin Kinney. That's her first personal foul and the team's 7th, and it will put the Mustangs into bonus. At the line, shooting 1-1, Emmy James.
And during that timeout, the gist of Coach Butt's message to his team was they're just not really running. The motion offense is designed to catch the ball, go inside, outside, and they're not running inside enough, the Mustangs are, in order to create that inside-outside effect.
James 1 for 2 at the line. Christina Klein, we should note, is now back in the game, and she's got 2 points so far on the night, having recently scored her first.
And both teams, by the way, we have not had an opportunity to talk about it much, but defensively, both teams have gone man-to-man the whole game. And, well, there's a case of outthinking the room there, trying to get too fancy.
Yeah, it was a very, very cool-looking reverse bounce pass. The problem is that there was nobody there.
Yeah, well, you know, those type of plays are always cool-looking if they actually work.
Yeah, and then, of course, West Orange tried to steal the ball. They tripped themselves in one for the blooper reel, and ultimately it ends up being a turnover. Klein manages to keep it alive for West Orange. They'll get another chance here. West Orange, as usual, traveling well. They have a lot of fans in the crowd tonight here at Wekiva. Block is called against Mustangs number 42, Erica Simmons. Her first personal foul, the team's third. And the West Orange fans countering that she was shooting. The referees are going to rule that she was on the floor. Work out for him anyway, though, as Paris Pickett picks up the jumper. So right now, I think the Mustangs are definitely feeling the loss of Sadasia Payne and Mayanna Garrett, who both contribute a ton of speed to this team. Push is called against Caitlin Kinney. That's her second personal foul, the team's 8th. It'll send Erica Simmons to the line to shoot 1-on-1. Cami Seymour back in for West Orange.
And the reason that West Orange has been able to open up a 9-point lead here is because of the inside game. That's where Sadasia Payne and Mayanna Garrett really come in, because they can score both inside and outside, so you can't really camp underneath. West Orange has gotten several baskets, I believe 3 in this quarter off of offensive rebounds, but when they're on defense, they've been able to pack it inside.
Back to a 7-point ball game thanks to the 2 makes by Simmons.
And now Wekiva is going to full court man-to-man.
Klein a little bit off target on the 3. Simmons rebounds. In transition. And Christina Klein is going to block it out of bounds as Alexis Choice makes a run at the transition play. Checking into the game for the Warriors, Morgan Beecham. Beecham has 9 points so far, but she also has 2 fouls, which is why she has not seen as many minutes as she otherwise might have. And Klein picks up a steal there, but then loses her dribble. And we'll pause here for a timeout. West Orange is going to request a timeout. 30-second timeout called by the Warriors. All right, we're back to live action here at Mustang Arena as a quick timeout there called to save the possession by the Warriors. Number 24, Paris Pickett, spins for 2.
Nice move there underneath the basket, the spin move.
Answered by Denisha Bowles for 3.
You got that?
21. Klein is short. And Simmons throws the ball away to a steal by Cami Seymour. Inside to Klein. 3 seconds in the key. Mustangs ball. Checking into the game for West Orange, Kyla Cruz.
So it certainly would behoove Wekiva to get a couple stops here before halftime, obviously for momentum and to get that score cut, but also just to kind of establish what they do well again. Really, the second quarter has been owned by West Orange, and again, that's because of the inside game on both ends. Nothing that's really stood out particularly, just more of a cumulative effect of solid play inside, getting the smaller, more subtle actions and aspects executed well. Wekiva remaining in man-to-man here. And collapses. And to be honest, Wekiva's caught a couple of lucky breaks the last couple of times down here.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are playing well, but they are not yet playing what I would call regional championship caliber basketball. Each team has made a number of mistakes that is not likely to get them to the state title game if they can't clean it up. Williams misses on the inside. And that takes us to halftime. It is a 6-point advantage for the Warriors here at intermission. 23-17 is the score, headed into the locker room. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your halftime stats. We'll begin with our guests from West Orange. Christina Klein has 2 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. If anybody's counting, that takes her to 987 career points. Kennedy Rogers has 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Paris Pickett, 6 points, 3 rebounds, and a blocked shot. And leading her team for the first half, Morgan Beecham with 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. As for the Mustangs, Bree Williams has 2 points, 1 rebound, and 1 steal. Alexis Choice, 2 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 steal. Nikki Butler, 2 points. Erica Simmons, 2 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals. Emmy James has picked up 4 so far, along with a rebound, and Denise Chabols leads her team with 5 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal in a very balanced Mustang effort. Again, we remind you that the Mustangs are on the road this Friday for a little bit earlier than usual start time. It'll be 5:30 JV and 7 o'clock varsity as the Mustangs travel to Windermere to face the Wolverines. Then coming up next week, we have a special event on next Friday. That is January the 18th. That is over the holiday weekend. And to get the holiday weekend started, we'll have both of the Mustang teams at Apopka for a special event, the Metro versus Florida Challenge. Wekiva will play Apopka at 6:30 for the ladies. And then, of course, that is the only ladies' game. That's a special exception to most of the play that'll be at the Metro versus Florida Challenge. It is primarily a boys' event, and the Mustang boys will be playing the Vanguard School at 5 o'clock, just preceding the girls. So again, boys at 5 o'clock, girls at 6:30. And then we will have both teams again participating. We also have some news coming into us over the internet, and that is from our wrestling team. Congratulations to the Mustang Wrestling Program. They had an event today, and that was over at the District 3A2 Duels at West Orange, and they placed in 3rd at the District Duels. Congratulations to the Mustang wrestlers for that. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a few operational adjustments that you may have noticed. First of all, we do appreciate your cooperation, as all of you have been doing a great job so far for the first half, avoiding sitting in the front row. That is because that front row comes a little too close to the court and runs the issue of you potentially getting tangled up with one of our players making a play at the sideline. And so we appreciate your cooperation sitting in the second row or higher. You may have also noticed that we have added some barriers and some signage to indicate those areas of our arena that are reserved for the players, coaches, officials, and staff members. And that is, again, for their safety and yours as well as the efficiency of our game operations. We appreciate you observing those. And last but not least, we do recognize that we have a lot of young Mustang fans, potentially future Mustangs, that are joining us here in the arena. But 3 hours is a long time to watch a basketball game, and so we ask for your assistance in making sure that our young Mustang fans and Warrior fans remain safe and seated in the bleachers during the game or out in the lobby. We appreciate your help in maintaining a safe environment for everyone to enjoy tonight's contest. For those of you who are listening to our online webcast, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in about 6.5 minutes here at Mustang Arena. The Warriors lead the Mustangs 23-17 at halftime. The Mustangs have the opening possession of the third period. And welcome back to Mustang Arena. Again, Mark Parchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with you, along with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, in a district contest between two state powerhouses. And it's going to be Emmy James to Erica Simmons to put the Mustangs on the board.
Well, exactly what Wekiva needed to start the second half here. Cuts it down to 4.
Morgan Beecham answers quickly for the Warriors.
Unfortunately, that was not what they needed, giving up the basket. So both teams scoring on their opening possession here. Pretty much the same way they did it in the first half, too. So looking at the stats here, moving into the second half, of course, we mentioned that Wekiva's not shot well really all season.
Denisha Bowles to Erica Simmons for 3.
And, of course, that continued, and as soon as I say that, they nail a 3. But nonetheless, Wekiva was only 5 of 24 from the field. And looking at that even a little bit further, Wekiva made only 1 field goal. They were actually 2 of 4 from two-point land in the first quarter, but they only went 3 of 11 or 1 of 11 in the second quarter. West Orange much more consistent, 5 of 11 in the first quarter, and now up 10 of 28. 7 of 15 from two-point land, so shooting the ball very well from two-point land.
Paris Pickett is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Warriors. Mustang fouls called against Emmy James on the block. It's her first personal foul and the team's first this half. Checking into the game for West Orange, number 1, Caitlin Kinney.
So again, Mark, we talked in that first half there about Sadeja Payne as well as Myanna Garrett being out due to injuries tonight, as Wekiva catches a small break there with the missed free throw. And really that has opened up the middle for West Orange. And again, that can be seen in the 7 of 15 from two-point land.
Denisha Bowles for 3. Pickett will be denied at the other end, and Simmons gets the rebound. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, Neil, that as my college humanities teacher used to say, well, if things would have been different, things would have been different. But you do wonder how the Mustangs would be performing with Garrett and Payne in the lineup compared to their current roster.
Yeah, well, nonetheless, so at least here 2.5 minutes in, they have overcome it, at least to the point that they've cut the lead down to 1 point.
James spins, can't get it to go. Rebound to Pickett.
Perhaps a little too much outthinking the room there on that attempt. She really shouldn't have probably tried that, but she did. She should have leaned in instead of out. I'm not sure. That just looked like such an odd, awkward motion there when she spun back to the outside.
Morgan Beecham on the pass to Paris Pickett. So Pickett's up to 9 points and 4 rebounds tonight, right behind Beecham herself with 11 and 3. Timeout Mustangs, 30-second timeout requested by Wekiva. And we'll be right back. right, we are back. Coach Butts making some small corrections there. What has been, on the whole, a successful opening to the half, but maybe not quite as successful as the Mustangs hoped for. There's a nice move by Denisha Bowles, picking off Morgan Beecham, and she will not be able to convert, though.
A couple of opportunities for Wekiva to regain the lead here, at least tie. And that's exactly what Coach Butts got on his team about during the during that timeout there. I could hear him yelling about rebounds. I couldn't hear exactly what, but I assume if you're yelling, that means you're not happy with the results.
Alexis Choice is fouled on the putback attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. The foul is called against Warriors number 12, A.J. Gillard, her first personal foul, and the team's first this half.
Strong rebounding there by Alexis Choice. And as we mentioned, Mark, Alexis has missed most of the season. She came back about 5 games ago, and she's only started a couple, seen a lot of time. But not only that, she actually missed all of last season, so more than an entire season, tore her ACL, and of course, we can certainly see the effects of that. We've talked about Sadeja Payne and Mayanna Garrett being out, but also Choice missed a good portion of the season so far as well, and the rebounding has really improved since she's come back.
Yeah, it does make you wonder over the past couple of seasons just how effective could Wekiva be if they could stay healthy at 100% the whole time. Of course, we all remember Etene Holloway spent a good portion of her high school career on the bench due to injuries, in spite of being one of the Mustangs' most talented stars.
Yeah, and also, I'm not sure if I said this, but when I did go over the stats here at the beginning of the quarter, actually stats were pretty even. 22 for Wekiva, 20 for West Orange. West Orange actually had 5 offensive rebounds. I'm not sure if I mentioned they had 14, but they did actually only have 5. Wekiva had 7.
So the Mustangs with an opportunity to go ahead here. James spins around but loses the ball to a steal by Kennedy Rogers. Good deflection there by James. The Warriors stay in control as Klein reels it in. It's Caitlin Kinney from Morgan Beecham for 3.
Yeah, collapse on the defense there. She was left wide open there down on the left corner. It's going to be hard to stop West Orange, any team, let alone a team that shoots as well as West Orange, especially considering their depth, having about 6 or 7 shooters when you leave the shooter wide open.
Amy James on the Mustang jumper.
Stop and go move there by James.
Yep, she won that battle with her guard. And you can hear the Wekiva side of the stands erupting. You can even see them there in the background.
Well, the one thing I can say here in this quarter, 6 minutes in, is Wekiva actually has done a good job of staying within one possession.
Paris Pickett on the pass from Morgan Beecham, and will pause for a Warrior timeout. 30-second timeout requested by West Orange. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, and so far the Warriors have been able to tread water and maintain their lead, but the Mustangs certainly showing a lot more spirit than they did in the first half. They've now cut it to 4 after that last basket went in, and we're going to get a foul on the floor. Foul is called against number 10, Kenny Seamer. That's her second personal foul, and the team's second. And she snuck in during the timeout. And now she's going to sneak out. Held ball, possession, Warriors. And so the Warriors will benefit from the help of the possession arrow on the rebound. Beecham for three, no good. Rebound to Williams. Swing the Bowles. Bowles spins around, gets stopped, loses her dribble, gets it back out to Simmons to try again. To McCarthy for three, no good. Caitlin Kinney on the jump shot. So the Mustangs start to slip back again as we head into the closing 30 seconds of the third period. Three is an air ball from Bowles, and the rebound goes to Rogers. Back to the other end to Kinney. A little bit off the mark. This time the rebound is for Bree Williams. Shania McCarthy is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot two for the Mustangs. Warrior foul is called against number 24, Paris Pickett. Her second personal foul and the team's third. The Mustangs have closed to within one, but they have not retaken the lead yet in the second half. Still, though, a close ball game that is certainly not out of reach for either team. McCarthy's first free throw is short. Checking into the game for West Orange, Cammie Seamer. For the Mustangs, Emmy James. And two misses for McCarthy. The rebound goes into the arms of Seamer. 10 seconds to go in the third period. To Rogers for three, and it's good. Morgan Beecham to Kennedy Rogers for three. And some confusion on the inbound will take us to the end of the period. That's the end of the third quarter. So Cammie Seamer is credited with the steal at the end of that period. And that will give the Warriors a 40-29 lead. 11 points separate the two teams headed into the final 8 minutes. Tanisha Bowles is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot two for the Mustangs. Foul is called against Sarah Placide, her second personal foul on the team's fourth.
So, Mark, with about 2 minutes and 10 seconds left, the score was 31-29. The period ended 40-29, a 9-0 run there by West Orange.
And
so at least, again, another good start to the quarter. Wekiva getting what it needs at the beginning of this quarter, establishing some momentum here as well as the game. And that turnover will help as well if Wekiva can turn it into points. Again, that's really been the story from Wekiva's side. They're just not being able to turn those opportunities, such as what we just saw with the turnover, into points.
Morgan Beecham is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot two for the Warriors. The Mustangs foul is called against number 22, Shania McCarthy, her first personal foul on the team's second.
And let's not forget the last points of that third quarter, which was a turnover. Klein came up with the steal, and she immediately turned it into a basket. That's a 4-point turnaround as well. So Wekiva facing a 10-point hoe, not impossible to come back from. But again, they really did, they probably could have avoided it could be a worst case scenario of 5 points. A lot of mistakes there, maybe not necessarily mistakes per se, but just not being able to convert their opportunities to keep that lead under 10 points. Again, that turnover right there at the end of the third quarter. Not only was that critical because it extended the lead to 10 points, but it came on the heel of a 3-point field goal. So a double whammy, if you will, delivered by West Orange in that last 10 seconds or so. And again, there's another opportunity. Wekiva should have come up with that rebound. Of course, this time they catch a break and get away with not boxing out. But to be honest, Wekiva should have had that rebound to begin with. They allowed Rogers to get inside there between two players.
So the Mustangs will get a fresh opportunity to reset the play here.
West Orange remains a man-to-man.
Simmons loses the ball here to a steal by number 32. That's Kyla Cruz.
Wekiva's remaining a man-to-man as well.
Offensive foul is called against Paris Pickett. It's her third personal foul, the team's fifth. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Shania McCarthy.
Mo, you got to let her get set first.
So again, Mark, as we're a couple minutes into the fourth quarter here, again, difference, at least statistically, is that West Orange is getting more shots. They've taken 45 compared to 34 for Wekiva, and they're shooting the ball much better too. 12 of 22 from two-point land. That's actually better than 50%. Wekiva's only 5 of 20 They made only one field goal in the second quarter, and they only made 2 in the third quarter. So neither team shooting the ball well from three-point land. 5 of 23 for West Orange, and 4 of 14 for Wekiva. But those 2 points clearly are the difference right now. 2-point field goal shooting. And usually when you have the numbers that skew to one team, that means the one team that's getting the higher percentage is getting better looks or getting inside and closer to the basket.
Held ball, possession Mustangs. Out of bounds. The Warriors ball. And so the Mustangs lose the possession arrow and the actual possession.
Yeah, Mark, and that's the second time tonight that they've made a mistake on an inbound pass. I mean, those are self-inflicted wounds there. And West Orange has also won the rebound battle as well. They're up 28-19 at the end of the third quarter. Both teams actually came down with 8 offensive rebounds, but West Orange had 22-11 on the defensive end.
Emmy James picks up a steal for the Mustangs. Gets it to the other end. McCarthy in trouble, and she's going to lose the ball. To a steal by Kyla Cruz. So one good turnover deserves another, and the Mustangs have had some good moments. They just haven't been able to string enough of them together to develop some momentum here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, again, every time Wekiva creates an opportunity to make some momentum and some headway, they then do the same thing that West Orange did.
A.J. Gillard for 3 from Morgan Beecham. And Beecham, for her part, besides her 12 points, also has 5 assists, helping her teammates to score. Emmy James is fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. Warrior foul called against number 24, Paris Pickett, her 4th personal foul, and the team's 6th.
Who scored that last basket?
Checking into the game for West Orange, Sarah Placide.
He's 12 had the 3.
Yeah. So 4 minutes to cut the 11-point lead down. And again, Wekiva, since that first quarter, just has not made enough plays after putting themselves in the position to make a play.
Offensive charge is called against Kyla Cruz. That's her 2nd personal foul, and the team's 7th. No bonus shots on offensive fouls, but it turns the ball over to the Mustangs as Caitlin Kinney comes into the game for West Orange. And Alexis Choice took that charge, and her shoe was a casualty of that event.
Well, again, Mark, like I said, they're doing plays like what we just saw. The Wekiva's making plays like we just saw, getting the ball back, playing some tough, nasty defense. But then they come down to the other end, and they can't score. They make a mistake, which takes away the opportunity to score.
Kyla Cruz is called on her 3rd personal foul. It's the team's 8th. Checking into the game for her is Kennedy Rogers, and it puts the Mustangs into bonus at the line, shooting 1-1, Shania McCarthy. So some critical free throws here for the Mustangs as they try to stay alive. I mean, we saw what West Orange did to Wekiva in the final district tournament contest last year, so the Mustangs certainly not out of the question that they could turn the tables and do the same. But at this point, they are fighting an uphill battle on game momentum.
Yeah, and again, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but it's really the story of the game. Two very nice plays. Choice draws the foul, and then McCarthy draws the foul, but they only score 1 point. They leave a point
Beecham
on
to
the table.
Placide for 2. Another assist for Beecham. Alexis Choice manages to get that to go off the Warriors, so the Mustangs will get another offensive possession here as we head into the last 3 minutes of this ball game.
So again, two good plays there on that sequence by Wekiva. Choice drawing the foul on the defensive end, and then McCarthy drawing the foul on the offensive end to go to the line, but they wind up leaving a point on the table.
Choice can't get it to go. McCarthy put back. That's not going to go, but she will draw a foul. Shania McCarthy is fouled on the putback attempt. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. Foul is called against Sarah Placide, her 3rd personal foul, and the team's 9th.
So again, I mentioned it at the beginning of this quarter. At the end of the 3rd quarter, West Orange put 9 straight points together. However, what really killed them was that turnover, Christina Klein stealing the ball the last 2 points of that 3rd quarter. And it's those kinds of plays that's the difference, not in the fact that they created the opportunity, but Klein was able to convert that opportunity into points, where we just saw Wekiva unable to do it by missing the free throw. The last time they were at the line, they missed the free throw.
22. Full timeout is requested by the Mustangs. And we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to live action as we head into the last 2 minutes, 49 seconds of this varsity contest.
And Wekiva's going to a full court trap, which really shouldn't be a surprise. To be honest, while they forced the ball to go from one side to the other, they really didn't execute it very well. And now West Orange is going to take some time off the clock with an 11-point lead.
Yeah, and Wekiva, for their part, has been very well behaved this half, and it may now play against them because they still have 4 fouls to give before they can draw any bonus shots, and that could be a disadvantage.
Yeah, and to be honest, Mark, I think at this point you're better off just committing the fouls.
Christina Klein spins for 2. Choice at the other end, can't get it to fall, and we're going to get a collision on the rebound. Fouls called against Mustangs number 24, Alexis Choice, her first personal and the team's 3rd. And well, Neil, I know they didn't mean to do that, but that was probably for the best to go ahead and pick up the foul there with somebody who didn't have any. Kennedy Rogers to Sarah Placide.
Nice.
And Neil, as we head to the last 2 minutes, Mustangs go in the wrong direction with the differential. James is short.
Yeah, a minute 30 left, and I think we just started hearing the fat lady singing, as was it Dandy Don Meredith like to say? Fortunately, whatever opportunity Wekiva had, I think pretty much went by the boards here with 6 in a row now out of the timeout by West Orange.
Kennedy Rogers. That gets her up into double figures as she's scored 11 points tonight so far. Mustangs have done something right, though, and that is, well, we'll get back to that in a second. Emmy James picks up 2 for Wekiva, and that is controlling Christina Klein. She was in shooting distance of getting to 1,000 points tonight. She came in with 985, and she's been held to just 4, so I'll make it 6 now. Christina Klein picks up the layup. So that puts her at 991. Held ball, possession Warriors. Checking into the game for West Orange. Cami Seamer, Makeda Bryant, Paris Pickett, and Kyla Cruz.
As you like to say, Mark, the Chinese fire drill, the entire second unit just came in.
Annie James. Takes us to the end of the ball game. 54-39 is the final score in the varsity contest. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for joining us here in person tonight or watching us online on our NFHS network or YouTube Live channels. Speaking of YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe before you go, regardless of whether you're watching us right now online or whether you're here in the arena. Pull out your phone and subscribe to our YouTube Live channel as we try to get from 400 subscribers up to 1,000. We also want you to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Wekiva Sports and bookmark WekivaMustangs.com for all of your scores, schedules, and more. Your next opportunity to catch the girls in action is coming up on Friday, and it is an away game. It'll be at Windermere, and it is a little bit earlier than usual. JV at 5:30 and varsity at 7 o'clock. And then, of course, both of these teams participating in the Metro versus Florida Challenge at 5 o'clock and 6:30 next Friday night. We hope that you will join us at Apopka High School for that game. On behalf of myself and Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, thanks again so much for joining us for tonight's game. Please drive carefully and arrive home safely, or if you're watching online, get to wherever you're going and have a great night.